Daredevil Born Again Season 2 is officially in development. And while we're hyped about Jessica Jones coming back, there's a whole roster of Netflix Marvel legends that Disney and Marvel Studios need to bring into the fold. Some of these returns are obvious, some are controversial, and one of them? Well, Disney's already confirmed it's not happening, and that might be their biggest mistake yet. Today, we're counting down the top 10 Netflix Marvel characters that absolutely must return in Daredevil Born Again Season 2. From the heroes we've been begging for to the villains that deserve one more shot at redemption, this list is going to spark some serious debate. So buckle up, hit that like button if you're ready for some spicy takes, and let's jump right into it. Number 10. Trish Walker / Hellcat. Let's kick things off with a wild card. Trish Walker, aka Hellcat, played by Rachel Taylor. Now, hear me out. I know Jessica Jones Season 3 left Trish in a pretty dark place, locked up after her vigilante murder spree. But that's exactly why she needs to come back. Trish's arc was all about the consequences of wanting powers so badly that you lose yourself in the process. She went from being Jessica's protective sister to becoming the very thing she hated. And honestly, that's compelling stuff. If Jessica Jones is coming back to Born Again, imagine the tension of having Trish show up, maybe as a reformed anti-hero trying to earn back Jessica's trust, or maybe still spiraling as a dangerous wild card. Plus, the MCU loves redemption arcs. If Wanda Maximoff can go from mind-controlling an entire town to being a hero again, Trish Walker deserves her shot. The real question is whether Disney has the guts to bring back a character this morally complicated. We'll see. Number 9. Stick. Next up, we've got Stick, the blind martial arts master played by Scott Glenn. If you watched Daredevil's early seasons, you know Stick was the guy who trained Matt Murdock. And he didn't exactly use gentle teaching methods. Stick was ruthless, sarcastic, and unapologetically brutal. He was also the one who introduced Matt to the world of the Chaste and the Hand, the mystical ninja war that defined so much of the Netflix Daredevil storyline. Now, Stick died in the Defenders, sure, but this is the MCU we're talking about. Death is basically a minor inconvenience at this point. Imagine a flashback episode showing more of Matt's training with Stick, or, here's a wild idea, what if the Hand brings him back as part of some resurrection plotline? It's happened before in the comics. And let's be real, Scott Glenn's grumpy old mentor energy is something we desperately need more of in the MCU. He was the Yoda of Hell's Kitchen, and we want him back. Number 8. Claire Temple. At number 8, we have the heart and soul of the Netflix Marvel Universe, Claire Temple, played by Rosario Dawson. Claire was the night shift nurse who patched up pretty much every street-level hero in New York. She stitched up Daredevil, helped Luke Cage, worked with Iron Fist, and even had a front-row seat to the Defenders team-up. Claire was the connective tissue of the Netflix shows. She wasn't a superhero, but she was the one who kept the heroes alive long enough to actually be heroes. And here's the thing. Born Again is already bringing back multiple Netflix characters. So why not bring back the one person who literally connected them all? If Season 2 dives deeper into the street-level Marvel universe, Claire Temple is the perfect way to bridge that world. Maybe she's running a clinic for powered people, or maybe she's just the person Matt Murdock calls when things go sideways. Either way, Rosario Dawson's Claire was too good to leave behind. Marvel, make it happen. Number 7. Typhoid Mary. Alright, here's where we start getting into the really interesting territory. Typhoid Mary, played by Alice Eve in Iron Fist Season 2, is a character with so much untapped potential it's criminal. For those who don't remember, Mary Walker is a character with dissociative identity disorder. One personality is sweet and innocent, the other is a ruthless, telekinetic assassin named Typhoid Mary. In Iron Fist, she was underutilized, mostly playing a supporting role. But in the comics, she's one of Daredevil's most iconic and dangerous enemies. Typhoid Mary has the ability to manipulate minds, induce fear, and in some versions, She even has low-level telekinesis. She's unpredictable, tragic, and absolutely terrifying. If Born Again Season 2 wants a villain who can match Matt Murdock psychologically and physically, Typhoid Mary is the answer. Plus, bringing her back would be a great way to redeem Iron Fist's storytelling missteps. Give Alice Eve the full spotlight she deserves. Number 6. Foggy Nelson and Karen Page. Now technically, Foggy Nelson and Karen Page already appeared in Born Again Season 1, so this one's a bit of a cheat. But here's the deal. If they're not in Season 2, we riot. Foggy Nelson, played by Eldon Henson, and Karen Page, played by Deborah Ann Wall, are Matt Murdock's anchors to humanity. Foggy is his best friend, the guy who keeps him grounded and reminds him that being Daredevil isn't the only way to fight for justice. Karen is his moral compass, the journalist who digs for the truth no matter the cost. Without these two, Daredevil just becomes a guy in a suit beating people up. With them, he's a fully realized character struggling to balance his dual lives. Season 1 brought them back, and Season 2 needs to give them real storylines, not just cameos. Let Foggy defend a superpowered client in court. Let Karen investigate Wilson Fisk's next big scheme. These characters are essential, and they deserve more screen time. Number 5. Iron Fist / Danny Rand. Okay, here's where the hot takes really start. At number 5, we have Iron Fist Danny Rand, played by Finn Jones. And yes, I can already hear the groans. But listen, Iron Fist deserves a redemption arc. The Netflix Iron Fist series was rough. The writing was messy, the pacing was off, and Danny Rand came across as whiny and entitled. But here's the reality check. That wasn't Finn Jones's fault. The show was rushed into production, and the scripts didn't do the character justice. By the time we got to Luke Cage Season 2 and Iron Fist Season 2, Danny was actually starting to work. He was more confident, more skilled, and way more interesting. The MCU has a track record of redeeming characters. Look at what they did with the Hulk, or how they elevated Spider-Man. If Born Again brings back Danny Rand as a fully trained, spiritually centered martial artist who's moved past his bratty billionaire phase, it could be incredible. Plus, imagine the fights. Matt Murdock and Danny Rand teaming up against the Hand? That's the kind of martial arts spectacle we need. Iron Fist deserves a second chance, and I'll die on that hill. Number 4. Luke Cage. At number 4, we have Luke Cage, played by Mike Colter. And honestly, this one feels like a no-brainer. Luke Cage is bulletproof, super strong, and one of the most iconic street-level heroes in Marvel history. His Netflix show gave us a nuanced look at a hero fighting for Harlem, dealing with corruption, and navigating what it means to be a black superhero in America. It was powerful, grounded, and exactly what the MCU's street-level universe needs more of. Here's the kicker. Jessica Jones is confirmed to be returning in Season 2. And in the comics, Luke Cage and Jessica Jones are married with a daughter. So if Jessica's back, it would be absolutely insane not to bring Luke back too. Whether he shows up as Jessica's husband, her ex, or just a fellow street-level hero teaming up with Daredevil, Mike Colter's Luke Cage needs to be part of this story. Plus, imagine Luke Cage and Daredevil fighting side by side. One guy who can't be hurt, and one guy who refuses to quit even when he's bleeding out. That's a dynamic we desperately need to see on screen again. Number 3. Bullseye / Benjamin Poindexter. Now we're getting into the heavy hitters. At number 3, we have Bullseye, or as we knew him in Netflix's Daredevil, Benjamin Dex Poindexter, played by Wilson Bethel. Daredevil Season 3 gave us one of the best villain origin stories in the entire MCU. Dex was a broken FBI agent manipulated by Wilson Fisk into becoming a ruthless assassin. He killed people with paper clips, pens, and anything else he could throw with deadly accuracy. And that final scene where we saw him getting experimental surgery on his spine? That was a clear setup for him becoming the full-on Bullseye we know from the comics. Bullseye is one of Daredevil's most iconic enemies. He's unpredictable, terrifying, and obsessed with proving he's better than Matt Murdock. If Born Again Season 2 doesn't bring him back, they're leaving one of their best villains on the table. Wilson Bethel's performance was phenomenal, and we need to see Dex fully embrace the Bullseye persona, target symbol on his forehead and all. Bring him back as a kingpin enforcer, or as a wild card villain hunting Daredevil for revenge. Either way, Bullseye belongs in Season 2. Number 2. Elektra Natchios. At number 2, we have Elektra Natchios, played by Elodie Yung. And if you're a Daredevil fan, you already know why she's this high on the list. Elektra is Matt Murdock's greatest love and his most dangerous enemy. She's a highly trained assassin, a former leader of the Hand, and someone who constantly pulls Matt back into the darker side of his world. The Defenders ended with Elektra seemingly dying alongside Matt in the Midland Circle collapse. But we all know Matt survived. So where the hell is Elektra? Here's what makes Elektra so essential. She represents the life Matt could have if he fully gave in to his violent instincts.
She's his mirror, his temptation, and his equal in combat.
Elodie Yung brought so much intensity and tragedy to the role, and leaving her out of Born Again would be a massive mistake. Whether she comes back as an ally, an enemy, or something in between, Elektra Natchios is one of the most important characters in Daredevil's story. She needs to return. Period. Number 1. Punisher/Frank Castle. And finally, at number 1, we have the character everyone's been screaming about since Born Again was announced. Punisher, Frank Castle, played by Jon Bernthal. Now here's the thing. Disney has confirmed that Punisher is not appearing in Born Again Season 2. In fact, the show only references him indirectly. Apparently, Daredevil visits Frank's old hideout at some point. And I'm just gonna say it, that is a colossal mistake. Jon Bernthal's Punisher is one of the best things to ever come out of the Netflix Marvel universe. His portrayal of Frank Castle was raw, brutal, and emotionally devastating. The moral debates between Frank and Matt Murdock in Daredevil Season 2 are some of the best scenes in superhero television history. Frank represented everything Matt refused to become, a killer who believed the justice system was broken beyond repair. And here's why leaving him out is such a huge miss. Born Again is about Daredevil navigating a world where Kingpin has legitimate political power. That's exactly the kind of corruption that would bring Frank Castle out of retirement. Imagine the Punisher going after a Kingpin-controlled government. Imagine Matt trying to stop Frank from crossing the line. That's the story we deserve. Instead, we're getting a vague reference to his hideout. It's a tease without payoff, and it's going to frustrate fans more than it excites them. Disney, Marvel, if you're listening, bring back Jon Bernthal's Punisher. Not in Season 3, not in a solo project years from now. In Season 2. Because Frank Castle is the one character who could elevate Born Again from great to legendary. And there you have it. The top 10 Netflix Marvel characters that absolutely need to return in Daredevil Born Again Season 2. From Hellcat's redemption arc to Punisher's glaring absence, these are the heroes and villains that could make Season 2 something truly special. So here's my question for you. Do you agree with this list? Are you team bring back Punisher, or do you think Disney's making the right call? And most importantly, which character are you most desperate to see return? Drop your picks in the comment section below because I want to hear your hot takes. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss our breakdowns of the MCU's street-level universe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.